Hello children, welcome to yet another session of Geography Class 10, Session 5, Climate Chapter. And before we commence, a quick look of what we have done in our previous session. In our previous session, we were studying about the winter monsoon, and we had learnt that during the winters the land becomes extremely cold, especially the northern part of India. It becomes very cold, and because of this heavy cold, intense cold, the air is also cold and it exerts a high pressure over the land. In comparison, sea is warmer and there is a low pressure over the oceans and seas. Now, winds always move from high pressure to low pressure area, and hence they are moving from the high pressure area over the north of India towards the sea, that is the Indian Ocean. It's moving towards the low pressure area. Now, winds are always named by the direction they blow, so it is named as the northeast trade winds or the northeast monsoon winds. So children, we had discussed that since the northeast monsoon winds, they are originating from land or they are offshore winds, they do not carry any moisture, and hence it is not able to give rainfall to a major part of India. Only when a part of the northeast monsoon wind, when it blows over the Bay of Bengal, it picks up moisture, and when it strikes the Coromandel coast, it is giving heavy rainfall in the Coromandel coast during the winter months. So, the source of rainfall in the winter months along the Coromandel coast is the northeast trade winds. Whereas the northeast trade winds is not able to give rainfall to the major part of India because it is originating from the land. But we do receive some rainfall in North India during the winters, and the source for which is the western disturbances. Now, what are western disturbances? In our last session, we had studied that western disturbances were depressions or temperate cyclones originating in the Mediterranean Sea, and right from there, from the Mediterranean Sea, these winds, they are able to travel a long distance. It's covering the whole of Iran, Iraq, it is traveling through Afghanistan, Pakistan, and ultimately it is reaching India through the northwest region. It is giving light rainfall in Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, and it is beneficial for the Rabi crops. Now, what are these Rabi crops? Wheat and barley. Wheat and barley are the Rabi crops which grow well because of this western disturbances. Okay children, next we had studied about the distribution of rainfall in India, and we found that the western side of the Western Ghats is getting more than 4,000 millimeters of rainfall, and also parts of the northeast is getting more than 4,000 millimeters of rainfall, especially the Garo Khasi Hill region. So what is the cause of it? Orographic rainfall. The mountains are there which is not letting the winds move ahead, whereas it is causing heavy rainfall on one side and less rainfall on the other side. Okay children, you can see then the majority, the eastern part of the region and the south of the Tarai region, you can see heavy rainfall also occurring, which is between 2,000 to 3,000 millimeters of rainfall. Apart from as we go towards the west, the amount of rainfall keeps diminishing. And Rajasthan is hardly getting any rainfall because we had studied last time that the Arabian Sea branch was parallel to the Arabian Sea branch is parallel to the Aravalli Hills, as such is not giving any rainfall, and the Bay of Bengal branch, by the time it is reaching Rajasthan, it is again devoid of any moisture. Okay. Now that was the distribution of rainfall. Apart from that, we had studied the difference between the tropical and the temperate cyclones. And the tropical cyclones, we had discussed that it was a summer phenomena, whereas the temperate cyclones were winter phenomena. Then the tropical cyclones were mostly occurring within the tropics, whereas the temperate cyclones were occurring above the tropics in the temperate regions. Now the tropical cyclones, they are violent winds, they bring a lot of destruction, whereas the temperate cyclones, they cover a very large distance, they bring mild rainfall, and they are not that destructive. So temperate cyclones, you can say they cover large areas. Tropical cyclones, they are affecting a smaller region. Okay, next we had discussed in our last session about the characteristics of the Indian monsoons, and we had learnt that the major part of the country was getting rainfall from the southwest monsoons monsoon. Then we had also learnt about that these winds were quite erratic, undependable. And we had also learnt that the major part of rainfall is confined to 3 to 4 months. Now the distribution of the rainfall was highly uneven. Some areas receiving very high rainfall, some areas hardly receiving any rainfall, and it is controlled by orography, or we can say that it is orographic in nature, causing heavy rainfall on the windward side and less rainfall on the leeward side. Okay, now today children, we are going to study about the sums which are related to your questions, sums related to the climate chapter, and every year you get such questions, so we must know how to solve them. Now this is from the book itself, though I have a very old book, and it is page number 105 in my book. Please check if this is in your book, and we can understand how these sums are done. So please be ready with your copy and pen to note down how these sums have to be done. Very easy it is. Now this question says there's a table given, and this is station A. The months are given on the top, the temperature given on the middle one, and the rainfall on the lower one. Now in the first, it is asked, calculate the annual rainfall experienced by the station. Now, annual rainfall. What do we mean by the term annual? Annual means the whole year's rainfall has to be calculated. Now, to calculate the whole year's rainfall, what we have to do is add up all the rainfall, and what answer I am getting is 114.2. After adding the rainfall occurring in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August till December, when I have added up all the numbers, all the rainfall in centimeters, I am getting 114.2 centimeters. Is that clear? Children, please do not forget to write the unit. Even if you write the correct answer, and if you have not written the unit, the board will not grant you marks. So, be careful to write the unit. Now, the next question says, suggest Suggest a name of this station giving a reason for your answer. Now a name has to be given to this station. Now how to give a name? To give a name to the station, we have to see when the station is receiving rainfall, whether it is receiving summer rainfall or winter rainfall. Now if it is receiving in summer, that is June, July, August, it's receiving 4.5, 6.1, 10.2. But let us see what it is receiving during the winter months, that is October, November, December. It is getting more rainfall, 20.1 in October, 16.8 in November and 19.0 in December, again 15.3 in January. That means it is getting winter rainfall. So you can write the season which it is getting the heaviest. It can be it's the highest 20, that is the highest it is receiving during the retreating monsoon season. Okay, next question. Now this is not from your book but from another book, and this is a question which came in the year 2005, your ICSE 2005. Now here there is a comparison of two stations, station A and station B. Now what type of questions will come and how you have to do it, please note it down in your registers. Now the question says calculate the annual rainfall of station A. Now when you have to calculate the annual rainfall, as I said earlier, you have to add up all the rainfall in station A right from January till December. You will add up, and when you add up, you are getting 68.4 centimeters. So the annual rainfall is 68.4 centimeters. And again, I am reminding you, do not forget to write the unit. Next question says, what is the annual range of temperature of station B? Now, how to calculate the annual range of temperature? Now children, please note in your registers that when you have to calculate the annual range of temperature, you will find out the highest temperature minus the lowest temperature. Okay, now in station B, the highest temperature is, now let us focus on station B. I hope this is visible to you. The highest temperature minus the lowest temperature, and the highest temperature has to be in the summer months. So highest temperature is what we have found. It is 33.1 in the month of July. Station B, 33.1. So that is the highest temperature. Now the lowest temperature in the month of January is 23.1. And so highest minus the lowest will give you the annual range of temperature. So around 10 you will get the annual range of temperature. Next question is, which are the winds? Name the winds which bring most of the rainfall to station B. Most of the rainfall to station B, and you have to state one reason for your answer. So the major rainfall, in station B, you can see the major rainfall is received in the winter months. So the winds which are bringing rainfall to station B is your northeast monsoon winds. Okay, so say station B has a very warm temperature, and the winds which are coming during the winter months, the temperatures are also quite warm, and the rainfall which it is receiving during the winter months, it is from the northeast monsoon winds. Okay, so such type of questions where you have to see where the rainfall is. The rainfall is occurring during which months, that is very important. Okay, next question. Next question is from the year 2007 and the question states, calculate the annual range of temperature. Now there is only one station in this and it is asked, calculate the annual range of temperature. Again, to find the annual range of temperature, the highest minus the lowest, and we will find out which is the highest temperature. And we found that in the month of July, June is 33.5, July is 30.8. So June is the month which has the highest temperature, 33.5, minus the lowest. The lowest is in January and it is 13.7. And your answer is 19.8 degrees Celsius. So 19.8 degrees Celsius is the annual range of temperature. And how are we getting this annual range of temperature? By subtracting the highest temperature from the lowest temperature. Okay, next question. What is the total rainfall experienced by the station? In this, we just add up from the month of January till December all the numbers of rainfall that is occurring, and we find it is 67.4 centimeters. If you add up, you'll find the same. Okay, now the third question is asked is which is the driest month, and driest month how we will find? Where the rainfall has occurred the least. So we find in which month the rainfall has occurred the least, and we find the month of April, it seems the rainfall has been the least. Rest, no, even lesser than April. We have the month of November, or the month of October is more, 1.0, month of November 0.2. So here we find the month of November is the driest month where the rainfall has become the least. Okay, now such type of questions come. So whenever you come across such tables, please work it out and do it. The more you do, the more you master. Okay, now another question for you. This is from the year 2011 and the first is what they are asking is name the driest month, and to find the driest month you will again in the same way you will find where the least rainfall has occurred, and in this we can see and this is 1.3 which is occurring in the month of March, and lesser than this if anywhere it is. No, there are nothing lesser than 1.3. So 1.3 is the least amount of rainfall occurring in the month of March. Next question, calculate the annual rainfall experienced by the station. Annual rainfall again in the same way by adding all the rainfall occurring from January to December. We get the answer. Next is what is the annual range of temperature, and again how we find the annual range of temperature? Adding by subtracting the highest minus the lowest. So the highest temperature here is in the month of, it is the month of June, 32.5 is the highest. Lowest we find in the month of January, 24.5. So 24.5 is the lowest. So highest minus the lowest will give you the annual range of temperature. Okay, now one more question that we can solve is, there is another one for the from the year 2016, and this says calculate the total annual rainfall experienced by the station. So to find the total annual rainfall, as has been said earlier, you add up all the rainfall right from January to December, and do not forget to write the unit, and that will give you the annual range of temperature, rainfall, sorry. What is the annual range of temperature? And as I said earlier, the highest minus the lowest temperature will get you the annual range of temperature. On which coast of India does the station lie? And it is East Coast. And why it is East Coast? You can even write Coromandel Coast, as it is most of the rainfall is occurring in the retreating monsoon season, or the northeast monsoon season. Also, if you write, you get it right, you are granted marks. If you write the winter season, also you will be granted marks. So please write the season, do not write the months, because season is asked only for the name of the season. You are getting marks, not for the months. And then you give the reason for your answer is that major rainfall is occurring during these months. From October to December, major rainfall is occurring. As such, it is the retreating monsoon season, or the northeast monsoon season, or the winter monsoon season. Okay, so today in our session we do till here. In our next session, we will discuss some other questions, some reasoning questions. So be ready the next time. Until then, stay safe and stay at home. Thank you.